This video is sponsored by NordPass. Hello, I'm Mimi. I'm a digital artist, content creator, and I'm also a big introvert. I was worried when I started growing my business online that I would need to be social, have regular calls, and talk to camera in order to be successful, but actually you can run a business almost entirely from your cozy, quiet space these days. I've been traveling around for over a year now, so my cozy space is just wherever I can find somewhere nice and private where we're staying, where I can recharge and have some alone time. At the moment we're back home with family for a little while, and luckily there are some lovely quiet spots here. Introverts recharge our energy by being in our own worlds, so we're generally quite private and we need alone time. We can still be outgoing, we can still love being social, but usually the activities that require us to interact with other people drain more energy than the ones that don't. A lot of us love having a quiet, cozy space where we can retreat to and spend our time in, and a lot of introverts make great artists because we enjoy spending time with our creative ideas. So the thought of running a business and networking and putting ourselves out there is kind of intimidating, but the great thing about building a business of your own is that you get to choose what you do and do not have to do. When I started making plans for my creative business, I knew that I didn't want to build any income streams that relied on me showing up socially at strict and set times, so that's why I haven't done things like one-on-one coaching or live group sessions. It's not that I will never do those things, I just find them the most draining, so I don't want my income to rely on them or have them as a foundation of my business. Instead, I'd much rather share the same knowledge in pre-recorded videos like this one, where I can just show up once and share them with lots of people on YouTube so that everyone can watch in their own time. It's always going to take a lot of energy to build a business or develop a new skill, but you can choose a path that allows you space to recharge that energy in between the difficult tasks, rather than one that always takes energy. And different tasks will drain a different amount of energy from you, and what those are will be different for everyone. It's really helpful to pay attention to what makes you feel the most tired and make sure that it isn't a task that you need to do every single day, so that you have a chance to recharge in between with those lower energy tasks. I personally really noticed that the tasks in my business that require me to show up online are the ones that drain the most energy, so I try to balance them out with tasks that use less of my energy. Filming is the most draining task for me, and I still enjoy doing it, I just can't do it every day, otherwise I'd burn out really quickly. The introvert in me wants to go and hide in a cocoon after I've been on camera or recorded a voiceover, so to stay productive and healthy, I make sure that lots of the tasks in my business just involve me making art in a quiet space. So if you consider yourself to be an introvert and want to grow an income with your art skills, have a think about what income streams would be a good fit for you. We're all different, so there's no one-size-fits-all approach. You just need to ask yourself, what do I want to spend most of my time doing? To give you some ideas of where to start, here are some ways you can earn money with your art skills that allow you to spend a lot of your time in your own happy introvert bubble. You could sell your art directly on products, sell art resources like digital brush packs, make tutorials of your art process, grow a social media following and get paid sponsorships, illustrate children's picture books, illustrate for professional clients, create custom portrait commissions, or license your art on products. All of these income streams can be introvert friendly because you don't necessarily have to talk to camera or communicate much outside of emails. You might have to take the odd phone call from a client or introduce yourself on social media, but you don't have to do them often to run a successful business with any of these products. Even if you want to make videos, you don't necessarily have to be in them. You can make videos that are from your point of view so that we never see you directly, or if you want to, you can make videos where you're in the shot but not up close and personal. You can still say so much to your audience without talking to the camera. You can do any of these income streams on your own if you want to, or you can hire the help of a freelancer. Obviously, bringing on someone else means more social interaction because you'll have to communicate with them, but could also free up your time to do more of the creative tasks that you really love. I'm really lucky that my partner was a video editor long before I started this channel, so he does all of the video editing for us. But I think if he wasn't, I probably would have started outsourcing my editing once I could afford it, because it's a necessary part of my business, but not my favorite part. I also now have some help with writing to convert these YouTube scripts into blog posts, and someone posting to my Pinterest account for me. It's all very casual freelance work, so we don't even have to interact all that much, and it gives me more time for my art. So you don't have to outsource anything if you don't want to, but also don't be afraid of it. You can control the scale of your creative business, and it doesn't have to keep growing if you don't want it to. You might find yourself in a happy place running things on your own, and if you're comfortable, then you definitely don't have to hire people. As well as being an introvert, I am definitely also somebody who worries. So if you're growing a creative business like me, and especially if you're thinking of outsourcing some of your work, then I want to tell you about the sponsor of today's video, which is NordPass. NordPass is a password manager that is easy to use and designed for small businesses, whether you're running it on your own or need to share passwords with teammates. Because I run my business pretty much completely online, it's important to me that I keep my accounts as secure as possible, and NordPass lets me safely store passwords and securely share them with the people I work with. If I want someone else to have access to one of my accounts to publish on my behalf, I can securely give them access only to what they need without sending important passwords and login info via chat or email. I like that I can store my own passwords or have NordPass generate strong passwords for me, and there's even a space for me to store secret notes for other information that I need to have access to but want to keep extra secure. They'll also let me know if my details have been compromised in a data breach, which means that I can act fast to protect my accounts. I've personally been using NordVPN for a really long time, so it was an easy decision for me to start using NordPass, and I think it's actually really affordable for a small business for the peace of mind of feeling better protected. You can give them a go for free to see what you think with a 3-month NordPass trial by using my activation code Mimimoo at nordpass.com/Mimimoo. So let's now talk a bit about social media for introverts. Social media is really powerful for reaching your audience, so I definitely recommend growing an audience on a platform if you can, but you can show up online in a way that works for you and your social energy levels. And if you're not sure, then start small and see how you go. Although social media is often not face-to-face, showing up to post something or engage in the comments still takes social energy. I started out on Instagram with just pictures of my art and then a few photos to introduce myself in my stories, and the rest of my interactions were through comments and messages. I would post in the evenings and then go on every morning at the start of my day when I had the most energy to respond to any comments from the day before, and that kept things sustainable for me. Nobody really notices when you are not engaging on social media unless you're maybe a huge celebrity. They only notice when you are. So don't worry if you need time away from it between showing up. Nobody expects you to be online all the time. And remember that in your business, you can set your own boundaries. That's one of the big perks of building something of your own. You can decide what to say yes to, and you can definitely say no to things that you don't want to do. You don't have to say yes to every opportunity that comes along if it's something that is just not a great fit for you right now. You're also allowed to change your mind later. You can start out with one set of boundaries and then adjust them later when you feel ready. There are lots of things that I didn't do for a long time, but then started to do once I felt more comfortable, like doing voiceover for video or being on camera at all. I do think it's helpful to distinguish for yourself between things that you don't want to do because they're a little outside of your comfort zone, and things that you have a hard boundary on because they're way out of your comfort zone or don't align with your values. I think it's healthy to push a little outside of your comfort zone. That's where our growth happens, but you only have to do it one step at a time, so you can choose in your creative business what you're comfortable with. You can always expand that comfort zone later on, like I did. Being an introvert isn't a weakness, it's just a trait, and I think that it's a big strength if you're an artist. We're good at spending a lot of our time in our own thoughts and feelings, so we can become really great at coming up with creative ideas or expressing ourselves through our art. We can have a lot of empathy, so we're good at connecting with people. We're often very self-aware, so we know what we do and don't want. And we can be really great listeners, which is important if you're building a community on social media. I wanted to make this video because I think it's really powerful to understand yourself and whether you're introverted or extroverted, because then you can build a lifestyle or business for yourself that plays to your strengths. You have a lot to offer, and you don't have to be the loudest person in the room to be heard. I built my business in a way that allows me to spend most of my time by myself, either drawing or writing, and just a small amount of time being on camera and interacting directly with people. I sometimes have phone calls or video calls, but probably only once a month or maybe even less, so they're never a big part of my schedule. And even though I have an online presence, I only have to show up the once to make the content and then interact in comments and DMs. And I do really love my community and connecting with you guys. I just also love having quiet time. So let me be the proof that you can build an online creative business as an introvert from the comfort of your safe, cozy space. Let us know in the comments if you're a fellow introvert and also if you have any tips for us. Thanks so much for watching this video. Give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And remember to use the code Mimimoo at nordpass.com/Mimimoo to get your 3-month NordPass trial. Or if you'd like access to my library of art lessons and my monthly illustration club, then join me on Patreon where I post a couple of times a week. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!